It's time to go triple Newcastle, and Salah, Palmer, Isak, we've got ourselves a captaincy conundrum ahead of Gameweek21. Guys, welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are well and you're looking forward to a little mini break in FPL. But before we go on that break, it's important to have a look at our early thoughts. We should all be doing this with our team, not locking in moves just yet, but looking ahead and seeing what direction we might want to go in. Can't get my words out. So, without further ado, shall we have a look at my bus team? This is the team before any transfers, just in case I get run over by a bus. This is how my team is set for Game Week 21. I've got 0.5 million in the bank, and I've got one free transfer. Guys, if you're enjoying the show so far, do please hit the like button, but also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed around here already, and drop a comment because I'll be replying to all comments on this video. So look, in goal we've got Sells, who's got a really tough fixture, but when your goalkeeper is a tough fixture, you often go, maybe I get the save points. And look, Forest went to Anfield this season and kept a clean sheet. Could they do the same at the City ground? You wouldn't put it past them, and that is why Mohamed Salah is not a given as our captain in Game Week 21. At the back, we've got Lewis Hall, Daniel Munoz, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Guys, I am so in love with Daniel Munoz's positioning at the moment. I know we haven't had big FPL points, but I promise you they are coming. This is Daniel Munoz's average position map against Chelsea. Pretty much up there with Mateta as the most advanced man on the pitch. The right wing back, there is no right winger at Crystal Palace. Daniel Munoz in possession is the right winger. Look at Tyrick Mitchell on the left. He's usually a bit higher up. He had to be disciplined. Pedro Neto kept him busy. But Daniel Munoz was an absolute nuisance. His expected numbers are amazing. He is top of all defenders in the game for expected goals. Goals are coming. Assists are coming. The fixtures are amazing. Daniel Munoz should be someone we're all looking to get into our FPL teams. I've got no doubt about it. And the average position map absolutely shows why. We've also got Trent in the back line. The benching headaches here. I've got Rico Lewis as my third sub. He's got Brentford away. And Mikalenko as my second sub. He's got Villa at home. Two guys I'd probably be okay playing, but I've just got the strength in depth in defence this week. In midfield, we've got Palmer, Foden, and Salah. They're the three that are kind of big hitters. I'm going to start Rodgers. Rodgers goes to Everton. You have to start Rodgers versus Everton. Everton conceded so many chances to Bournemouth. Get Rodgers in your team this week, guys. Also get João Pedro in your team. Rodgers and João Pedro are two that are often on the bench. They both have to be in the 11 this week, okay? João Pedro's got Ipswich and he's had a 9-pointer. When João Pedro scores a goal, he often gets bonus points. I'm up front there with Jackson and Isak. Jackson, I am holding firm on. The chances are coming. The points haven't been there, but the fixtures are still good for Jackson. So at the moment, I've got Enzo as my first sub. We're going to talk about all the transfer combinations I could make with this team in just a second because, guys, I've got a lot of different directions I can go in. But I want to start nice and early this week with my early captaincy thoughts, right? I want to set the scene with a captaincy poll. I polled Isak, Palmer, Salah, and even Bruno. So let's go through these candidates one by one, shall we? And look, this is just 1,000 votes. I expect Isak and Salah are going to be the two favourites. But let's kick off with Cole Palmer because I think Cole Palmer definitely needs our consideration too. Now, Palmer's fixture is a home fixture. We know Palmer at home is good. Palmer's got Bournemouth at home, who will give you chances, Bournemouth. Now, when we look at the last few game weeks, and look, this is going back all the way to game week 13, we can see he either hits big or he underwhelms. He's had one sort of meh 7, but he's had a big 14 against Villa, a 7 versus Southampton. But that game, the XGI was 1.83. He should have gone big against Southampton. Then 18 versus Spurs. But then he blanked versus Brentford and Everton and Ipswich. 3 games you expect Palmer to return in. Brentford, Everton, Ipswich, all in the last 5. Just like Bournemouth, similar level opponent. He blanked, and that's what concerns me about Cole Palmer. So yes, you get the 10s and the 9s and the 18s and the 14s, but you do get a fair few blanks. He either hits or he doesn't. He's not got the level of consistency that both Salah and Isak have shown us of late. So I don't think I actually will be going Cole Palmer. I've got Jackson. I've already got Enzo maybe bench, so double or triple Chelsea attack as it is. And the way they've been attacking of late, it's a slight cause for concern. The attacking numbers haven't been brilliant. And Palmer against Palace, I know he gets the goal, but his goal threat was 0.27. He did have high assist threat, but Jackson couldn't hit a barn door. Palmer's good, but I don't think he'll be my preferred. as things stand, I'm looking at Alexander Isak, guys, and I'm thinking the level of consistency is unbelievable. He's returned in the last 7 game weeks. So sure, he blanked against Palace in game week 13, but since then, this is remarkable. Since then, he has gone on a 7-run return rate. 11, 8, 11, 17, 8, 7, 7. And against Spurs, it was 7. But he gets the yellow card. And that yellow card at the end not only gives him -1, but it gives him lower bonus points as well. So that 7 really should have been a 9 or a 10. Isak's a very good own. Against Man United the game before that, he should have had more. Against Villa, he should have had more. Like, look at the XGI numbers. 1.35, 0.89, 1.04, 1.73, 1.64, 1.02. He's pretty much hit 1 XGI or higher, including the 0.89, in the last 6. The underlying stats are there. The actual stats are there. Is the opponent there? Newcastle versus Wolves on paper is brilliant. Under Gary O'Neill, that's a fixture we absolutely would have targeted. But under the new manager, are they a little bit better at the back? You would argue they are. I'm recording this before the Monday night game against Forest. Let's see how Wolves got on against Forest. If Wolves look good against Forest at the back, maybe we calm it on Isak captaincy. But as things stand, I think I might be heading in this direction. And then Mo Salah. Again, let's see how Forest look Monday night. But Salah's got a tough trip, guys. Going to the City ground is not easy. And what Forest are very good at is they can park the bus against the big teams. We know they went to Anfield. They played against Salah earlier in the season, and one of the few blanks Salah has had all season was against Forest at Anfield. At the City ground, it will be even harder. It will be even harder. So let's have a look at the injuries they've got, Forest. But if they look like they're going to be fully fit and they have a good showing again on Monday night against Wolves, I think I'll be a little bit put off against Mo Salah. Do I think he returns? Probably. Do I think the ceiling is lower because he's playing an elite defence? Yes. Nottingham Forest are a top 2, top 3 defence this season. In all the defensive metrics, XG, goals conceded, clean sheets, they're up there in the top echelons, the top bracket of all the Premier League defences. And it's at the City ground. Just for some added spice, yeah, it's at home for Forest. Whilst Isak and Palmer have got good home fixtures. So we go back to the poll. At the moment, 37% of you are on Salah, 38%-ish, same are on Isak. Palmer's got 15%, and then there's a few on Bruno, and I'm sure a few will be on Haaland and a few others. I think it's a 2 or 3, I think it's a 3-horse race. I'm going to include Palmer still in it. As things stand, I think I'm Isak captain. I don't even know where I am for vice captain. I don't even know if it's Palmer or Salah. I'm so torn. So it's a bit of an equal split. When I do my team selection video after the international break, after the EFL Cup and the FA Cup, maybe that changes because we do get the opportunity to watch these guys. So this is really important. Isak, well, he's got Arsenal on Tuesday in the EFL Cup, and he's got Bromley, sorry. He'll probably be rested in the FA Cup before the Premier League game midweek in Gameweek 21. Likewise, Salah plays Spurs in the EFL Cup on Wednesday, and then he's got an FA Cup game he'll be rested for, Accrington Stanley. And Palmer will play in the FA Cup against Morecambe because he's got no EFL Cup. So these guys have all got 2 or 1 fixture before Game Week 21. Let's eye test scout yet again in those fixtures. So guys, what about my transfers this week? My early thoughts for captaincy are Isak. My early thoughts for transfers are another Newcastle player. Before we do that, shout out to OneFootball. Guys, if you're not already on the OneFootball app, genuinely, you're going to love it. This is a free football app. It should live on the home screen of your phone, and if you're anything like me, you'll be checking it day and night. For football news, for video clips of the goals, all the Premier League action, and all the stats and the breakdown of the games, it's all there. Press conference quotes, the lot. Not just for the Premier League, but world football, European football, Champions League it's great for. I follow Serie A, so it's brilliant there too. Get downloading, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description. So, my transfers. I mentioned Newcastle players because they've been so good of late. They blew Spurs away. You could argue the fixtures have been there for them. Like, of course they were going to score goals against Spurs and Man United. They're bad defences. Of course they're going to score goals against Villa. There was a red card, and Ipswich and Leicester before that. It's been impressive. It's been 14 goals in the last, 5 game weeks? And they've conceded 1 against Spurs, the slanky header. They've been really good, and I'm on Isak and I'm on Lewis Hall, but I still like these two. So let's compare Gordon and Murphy, shall we? is if I'm buying a Newcastle player, I'm buying one of these two. And look, don't get me wrong, I think Gordon's the better option. He's 7.5 million though. Murphy is 5.1. And what have we seen in the last 7 games? We've seen Jacob Murphy starting games. Now he's starting games on the right-hand side, and with that, it makes Isak better and it makes Gordon better. Because before that, we were seeing Gordon playing on the right sometimes, or Barnes playing on the right. Now Barnes and Gordon, you would think, would be the first two wide men at Newcastle. The problem is they both want to play in the same position on the left. So Eddie Howe has tried playing both and one on the right. It doesn't work. So he's probably going to sign someone on the right long term, but for now he's playing Jacob Murphy. He's playing out of his skin. Jacob Murphy is smashing it. He's putting up the same level of numbers pretty much as Anthony Gordon. We see here on this graph from Fantasy Football Scout, this is in the members area. Check it out if you want to know more in the members area. It's a really affordable way of getting great data. Jacob Murphy in red pretty much gets close to matching Gordon. Now, Gordon wins out on things like bonus points and goal threat, but assist threat, chances created, slightly higher. Big chances created, Jacob Murphy's on top. Total assists, Jacob Murphy's on top. In brief, they're very similar in assist threat. Jacob Murphy edges it. In goal threat, they're very similar, but Gordon edges it. And overall, like bonus points and goal attempts and all of that, you would say Gordon edges it. But is it worth the extra 2.5 million? Probably not. So genuinely, we can consider both of these guys. What's suitable for your squad? How much money do you have in the bank? Where will you spend the money? Now, if we go to the pass maps of the last couple of games, again, this is from between the posts, we can see this was against Man United. So the first, this was going back a game ago, so 2 games ago. We saw Murphy and Gordon pretty much the same height, both very involved, but actually it was Murphy that got a lot of the ball. That right-hand side for Newcastle is where a lot of the traffic goes. Bruno, Trippier, Murphy at the time, and even Cher out the back. Then we take it from the weekend just gone, and we see against Spurs, again, more passes down the right-hand side, but it was Anthony Gordon that was slightly higher up. And I think on average, we would expect to see Gordon higher up the pitch than Murphy. Again, extra money, but is it worth the 2.5 million? That's the $1 million question. They're both really good options for the next couple of games. I think it's Wolves and Bournemouth at home next up. And then long term, like as we look at the fixture ticker, we can still invest in this team because it's Wolves, Bournemouth, but then it's Southampton, then it's Fulham. It's a good run. Even Man City after that, it's not bad, is it? So let's look at my actual team then and drop in some Newcastle players to see where I might make this transfer. I've got 3 options, right? Option 1 is I simply roll the transfer. When we look at this team, as it's set, my bus team, we'll put the captain armband, by the way, on Isak. I could roll very easily. I've got a benching headache already. Or I could sell Enzo for Murphy. That's a big upgrade at the moment, I think. The problem is I've currently got Enzo benched. If Murphy comes into this team, who do I bench? Like, let's just bench, I don't know, he's out of form. Let's just put Jackson on the bench. This makes it a midfield 5, right? How does this look? Murphy in the team and Jackson on the bench? Yeah, not bad. But I can't be benching a player like Jackson. You may as well sell him if you're going to bench him at that value, right? So I don't know if I can make this move. I could, though. I could get Jackson back in the 11, Enzo back on the bench, and take Foden out. Foden to Gordon is a legit option. It gives me more money in the bank if I make this move as well. Remember, Foden's expensive, Gordon's not. I've already got 0.5 in the bank. If I take Foden out and I put Gordon in, that gives me 2.1 million in the bank for future upgrades. Now, 2.1 in the bank can go a long way. Maybe that means I can eventually get towards getting Mbermo back. One of my, like Enzo to Mbermo in a few weeks' time with a little bit more money. It's an option. So I think for the sake of my squad, Foden out to Gordon works. I could even go Foden out to Murphy, right? Or I could keep Foden and do nothing. I think the option of selling Enzo doesn't make sense because he's first on my bench anyway. But selling Foden for a Newcastle mid is a legit option. Let's see where I'm at after Newcastle have played in the FL Cup against Arsenal and after Newcastle have played in the FA Cup. You never know what injuries we're going to get anyway. So one thing I would say is a ton of football to be played between now and 21. Hold those transfers. EFL Cup, 4 teams involved. FA Cup, all the teams involved. again, there'll be a lot of reshuffling in the pack. And then it's back to a Tuesday deadline in game week 21. And again, it'll be a fast turnaround. So far, so good. Good luck in your ITA scouting and your planning. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button. And I will see you very soon. I'm going to drop a non-FPL video tomorrow. Yeah, come check that out. Maybe we'll experiment with that. If you guys like it and you watch it, I'll continue to do more non-FPL content as well. But for now, guys, enjoy the little rest for FPL and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.